Hello, everyone, and welcome to Best of 6. I'm your host, Jake. Joining me, as always, is Dan, Julian, Larone, and special guest again, Steve. So, let's dive right into the news. We have a lot to talk about today. First up, Riot employees walk out to protest company's lawsuit policies.
GG.
They basically the company is seeking to enact and enforce policies that prevent employees from suing them in sexual harassment and sexual assault lawsuits. Oh boy.
It just doesn't make any sense.
All right, go on, Steve. This is
Why would you,
It just doesn't make any sense. No matter who it is. I don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's like, hey, we want to make sure that if something bad happens, fuck you.
they want to protect themselves. Where's the harm in that?
why would they out themselves? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, that's...
That is just publicly saying that this is a big problem here.
Yeah.
It's such a problem that we're afraid that it might hurt our bottom line.
If you come work here, you might get assaulted, and we don't care.
Yeah, we definitely don't hold ourselves liable.
We just want your labor.
Yeah, holy shit.
How is this even, allowed by law for them to even, attempt to do this?
I think what it basically does is it prevents Riot from being able to sue. It prevents employees from being able to sue Riot. They have to sue, the individuals responsible, as opposed to suing Riot for, creating a culture of it.
For allowing this dump to become this bad.
Yeah.
And not doing anything about it.
Yeah, or hiring people who are known to have these problems or things in that nature. Yeah, no, it's 100% Riot's fault. Riot should be,
They should take responsibility for the people they hire.
The short version is that Riot wants its employees to only be allowed to take them to arbitration, not court, when suing the company over instances of sexual grievances like assault or harassment.
Whatever, I don't get it, whatever.
Are you on a boycott league because of this?
No.
Also, they backed off when during some backlash and said that we won't update current employees' contracts and we'll make it opt out for future employees.
Why would you? What?
Yeah, why would they opt out?
Excuse me.
Yeah, why would you opt out? I don't get it.
No. Opting out would make it so you could sue them.
Why?
Well,
in what world do you not opt out? Is what I'm saying.
Why would you not?
By not knowing. Because most people don't read their employee contracts that carefully.
Oh, that's a fair point. Yeah. Wow. Wow, that's really scummy, huh?
Yeah, that's extra scummy.
Yeah. So, what a... Yeah. And apparently there was a walkout, not just about this arbitration, but more of as, an overall, the company culture here is toxic, and this is a very obvious example of that toxicity.
Why are there so many AAA game devs that are just terrible places to work for? Not even just the crunch, but, just being a toxic environment.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we could definitely do a deep dive about that at some point. Why, do some research and find out, what the heck is it about these game companies that makes their culture so toxic? Because it is very interesting and very unfortunate.
Yeah.
This just isn't good for the industry. It's not a good look.
It makes me sad to play some of these games.
Yeah. Speaking of which, original Claptrap voice actor claims Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford assaulted him.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
First, Randy Pitchford has porn on his flash drive, and now this.
Yeah, Randy Pitchford he's been a mess of a CEO, and the latest thing is basically the guy who voiced Claptrap basically wasn't offered royalties for the previous games, and he basically said that Randy Pitchford sort of siphoned $12 million away from employee royalties into other things in the company, and ultimately that the Claptrap voice actor was willing to do Borderlands 3 voice acting for free, but And then there was this, confrontation with Randy Pitchford, which ended in him assaulting Eddings, who's the voice actor. And,
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
That's my problem with everything is like, okay, all of these things are coming up at once. So is it because everyone's getting the courage finally to say things, or is everyone just making up shit? I don't know. That's what I hate about this.
Yeah, this is sounding. I mean, apparently it got heated when he was, when his former boss is mouthing off about various aspects of my employment, including how highly compensated I was and how generous he is.
That kind of sounds like Randy.
So then he actually came out to correct the record. So it was actually like Randy Pitchford opened this thread back up. David Eddings wasn't saying anything publicly about this until Randy Pitchford started saying stuff publicly about him. So that's not a good look. This wasn't an out of nowhere allegation. This was like, okay, Randy, you're gonna try to say this kind of stuff publicly without giving the full story. Let's give them the full story, shall we? Yeah.
Do you all think that he?
Also, I
assaulted
think
him?
if Randy assaulted him and made him not come back for Borderlands 3, should have just got a better secondary voice actor for Claptrap because the new one's trash. That's his biggest mistake.
Uh-huh. I think Randy Pitchford's made plenty of other.
This is the biggest
I
one.
doubt he had anything to do with the voice actor even.
Nah, he picked him personally. He picked a scrawny looking one so he could beat him up too.
Now that I wouldn't be surprised.
He picked somebody who he. Oh, I'm not even saying. All right, moving right along. More video game studio crap. NetherRealm Studios faces toxic workplace and brutal crunch allegations.
My God.
Yikes!
Yeah, they actually sound like 5-year-olds.
Oh yeah. So, Lerone, I'll let you go ahead and take this one.
Wait, no, I'm not prepared for that.
Okay, well, in my skimming of the article, there is a huge set of problems with sexual harassment here.
Okay, so
Julian's got it.
Yeah.
there's two things going on at NetherRealm Studios. One is the crunch, right? People were working like 90 to 100-hour weeks to get games like Mortal Kombat 11 out. But that's a trend we see with a lot of these AAA game studios.
This is just normal now.
Yeah,
It
it's
sucks. It shouldn't be happening, but
It
it's
should not be happening,
unexpected.
but that's what we expect. And there's a second fold of this. Apparently, there's a bunch of sexist developers or just people just in NetherRealm Studios where like they openly make fun of their female employees and call them like the B word. I'm not sure if I should say that live on Twitch.
I've been swearing.
Calm
already.
down.
Yeah, openly.
This is season 3.
True. It is season 3. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. There was this this female accuser who claimed that they would give nicknames to like a trans employee and called him like Morph because he's
Morph.
trans. Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
There's a joke where like something about how the female employee she talked about how like I forget the full
Something
context.
about food on her desk.
Yeah, there was food on her desk, and the guy was like, "Yeah, this dude can like take food off of your desk because he's a man," and he proceeds to high five the female employee, and she's like, "That wasn't funny." And
I don't even get. Wait,
What?
I don't get it.
Not only that isn't funny in any context. Like
Told you.
if you are a person who finds sexist humor funny, that's
That's
just
still
not
not.
even
It's
funny.
still not even a joke.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
just
even
not-
like.
Was
This
the,
was-
Literally was like,
Wait, what
go
was
back
the
to the
joke?
kitchen, high five. it was bad.
so the joke
No.
was just,
Yeah.
I'm a man, I can take your food?
yes,
Pretty much.
The one I heard was like, no, what was it? Oh no, that was just like apparently it's commonplace to refer to the women of the workplace as bitches.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I said it. It's just
Yeah.
common. They just do it.
Wow. I
It's
thought
gotten
this
that
was
bad?
2019.
How did it get this bad?
Not only that, but they treat their contractors like absolute dirt.
Oh hey.
Well, that's everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They pay them.
that's it. It sucks.
Not that that's a good thing, but
Yeah. There was this one time where like they heard of a leak at NetherRealm, and then they like got all of the contractors. I'm not sure if it was only contractors, but they got their employees in a room, and the lead person or whatever was like yelling at them. He was like, "We know it was one of you all who leaked stuff about Mortal Kombat 10 or 11 or whatever. Come out!" You know, like hardcore yelling at them and stuff. Yeah. Um,
Good thing I didn't buy that game.
yeah, you should not support NetherRealm.
yeah, I have to be Sonic Fox to buy that.
Yeah,
Here is-
I wasn't gonna
Then
buy
I'd, do
Mortal.
it. I'd be making that money.
Have I ever played NetherRealm? A NetherRealm game?
Smash is the only good fighting game that exists. So.
You know, you never played a Mortal Kombat game?
I mean, I've played one. I don't think I've. I think the last Mortal Kombat game I played was probably like Mortal Kombat 9, and only for like maybe an hour.
Oh, that was when they were. They might have been like.
They might have
They
not been
rebranded
as
to-
awful too.
The only Mortal Kombat game I played was like an arcade machine.
Apparently, it was worse when they were before they rebranded. They used to like. I don't know if this was true, but apparently they used to like do cocaine off of hookers openly in the office.
That sounds like a meme.
I don't know if that's.
How
It was
long?
in the article. I don't know if that actually happened. but-
How long ago? Was it the 70s or 80s?
Well, at
No.
least you can see where where the foundation of the company culture came from. Apparently, it's been a while. It's been around for a while.
Here's the quote I was talking about. I heard from multiple people that a cabal of male developers had nicknames for all the women in the office, including Silver, Fox, Dyke, Bitch, and Morph, in reference to a trans employee. Yeah, a coworker once jokingly called an Injustice mobile character who did bleeding damage over time of the month Wonder Woman in the presence of two leads, and referring to women as Bitch's was commonplace.
I remember that Wonder Woman. She was a decent card. That's a mean way to represent her. I like that.
This is depressing. Let's
This is.
There is a lot more stuff too. I could go on. and
Yeah,
on
I'm
about
sure
it.
you can. I think we should move on.
Where are the good news topics?
All right.
Literally don't give them any money ever.
Yeah, don't give
Yeah.
NetherRealm your money. All right. The good news is their games are boring anyway. So
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean,
Mortal Kombat is just gore porn the fighting game.
I don't care about I don't care about any of that. So
When I was like a kid, I liked Mortal Kombat versus DC. That was the precursor to Injustice.
Yeah, kids have bad opinions.
Oof.
All right, State of Play. Sony did another one of these direct style things. They talked about Final Fantasy VII, and that's it.
Yeah.
You missed absolutely nothing.
Wait, no. People care about Medieval.
Yeah, what is Medieval?
Excuse me.
I have no idea.
It's a remake for a game I've never heard of. So
I mean, I've heard of it. I have just no idea what it is.
cool.
yeah, good news topic.
You know,
No, it's important. We see Aerith and Sephiroth in the FF7 remake trailer.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
graphics were decent.
Ooh.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's about it.
They're
It's
coming out.
actually happening.
They're coming out with a limited edition PS4. It looks just like any other PS4, except it has the triangle, circle, X, square on the top of it, and
In the days of
and a
Play,
slightly different looking controller. Cool. All right. And the last news topic, before we head into the main topic, U.S. Senator introduces bill to ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions.
Wow,
It's
that's
some
not on
good
topic at all.
So I saved this one for last for a reason. I felt like a good segue here. So it would specifically, it would ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions in games played by minors.
That's a good caveat to have.
Yeah.
That is, yeah. Like, kids aren't allowed into a casino for a good reason.
Yeah,
Kids
this
also
is
shouldn't be allowed to make microtransactions.
yeah. So
for the same reason.
specifically games who knowingly allow minor players to engage in microtransactions.
That might be too broad.
It might be.
You can say that about any game that has microtransactions.
Yeah, the name of the bill is the Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that like it'll be implemented in the same way that like Pornhub doesn't let people under 18 on their website. Like that's what I'm assuming is gonna kind of sort of happen.
So you just click a button letting you know like whether or not you're 18.
I mean,
Well, I think it's. I think it's
that's
more than
how-
that. It's like any of these games where they know they have a like a big under 18 player base that engages in microtransactions. They will need to restructure their games to not be so predatory. Seems to be
Okay.
the idea here.
So what about
Okay.
does League have a big demographic under 18?
Yes.
I mean, this is basically the ban Fortnite bill. I think. That's what it sounds like to me.
They very specifically when they first introduced the bill, they brought up the game Candy Crush as an egregious example of pay-to-win microtransactions, including its $150 Luscious bundle that comes with a whole bunch of goodies. This would also
would you
apply
pay
to a
$100?
host of online games that feature loot boxes and other ways players can spend money for real benefits.
Oh,
Okay,
so you need
so
to
is it-
actually get a
when-
benefit from it?
When a
It's
game is
only
designed for
targeted
kids, game
to
developers shouldn't be allowed to monetize addiction.
Uh-huh.
But like
What are they trying to
cosmetics are
protect
fine.
against?
And
Yeah.
when kids play games designed for adults, they should be walled off from compulsive microtransactions.
I think I'm actually gonna brush on like what this is trying to protect because like a lot of I don't want to like spoil my talk or anything, but like one of my main thesis points is like free to play games with these quote unquote predatory models are kind of okay if you're aware of the dangers.
Yeah.
And a kid just can't be. Or a
Uh-huh.
kid could theoretically be, but like
Most
probably
kids aren't.
isn't.
Right,
kids
most kids
yeah.
aren't.
And that's what you have parents for. Stop being bad parents.
Yeah.
I blame
So
That's
without
also true.
without
Yeah.
being able to actually see the bill yet, as it's nothing really about it's public. It's just
Yeah.
sort of been introduced to the Senate, and it will. Which, by the way, introduced by a Republican. For anyone who cares, I found that a little bit interesting.
I couldn't
Wait,
care.
why? That seems right.
I just found it a little bit interesting. That's
Why would it not?
all I'm saying on that.
It's
Couldn't care
restricting private corporations from doing what they want. That's
For making money.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is kind of it is
That was what I was
it is
thinking.
anti-capitalist in a lot of ways.
It's also just like a lot of times Republican is synonymous with libertarian, and it is very anti-libertarian.
Yeah, it's definitely government control over the free market.
Mhm.
I was thinking more so like this is like a conservative mindset, not like a, you know what I mean?
It
Not like
is-
Yeah, but
It
that usually doesn't
also-
matter when there's money to be made.
Yeah, like
Uh,
the conservative mindset, like where I can see where Julian's coming from, where it's like the
Mhm.
conservative mindset is protecting basically our like the government has a responsibility to be the moral authority in a way.
So, if anything, that could be a good thing. Both sides might be able to get behind this.
I hope gets bipartisan support. I think it's a overall pretty good thing.
it's good in concept, but I fear that like
Right.
it's
It is-
too broad.
But
It's
that
a very-
that's
it's
but
a
that's
very
not
well-meaning
necessarily a bad
concept.
thing because right now there's nothing, and this will be something. The start of something.
Like if it's a button that says I confirm I'm 18 and that stops literally no one, it's still better than what we have right now.
Yeah. Well,
a
very
lot
specifically,
of
this
games
bill
have
wants to be
Yeah,
able to
they're-
legally
Yeah, yeah.
punish. Like
A
you
lot
should
of
be able to
games
sue.
have,
have an age requirement.
You
I
have
mean,
to,
so you can lie about your birthday, but it's still there.
and
Yeah.
a lot of them will say there's in-game purchases. If you are under 14 years old, make sure you have a parent or guardian. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It has it when you boot up the game.
Right.
But-
But this is saying that games that like Candy Crush that are kind of targeted towards the younger audience especially. And then they have and then it's just loaded with in-your-face microtransactions. it's a little questionable on whether or not they're really doing anything to try to protect children from doing this. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. This is the first time I've seen anything like this at the federal level in the U.S. So some countries have already done some of this stuff, and some states have introduced stuff, but this is federal level. So
Didn't like
this could be good.
Belgium try and do that or something? Like they banned loot boxes, something.
Yeah,
Like talked about that.
I can never remember if they were like introduced or if they were like passed or what, or if they've been passed, but have they actually been implemented yet? There's a lot of countries in this world, but I think that's all we got for news. So I'm gonna pass it on over to our presenter today, Dan, to talk about
free-to-play games and pay-to-play games, but mostly free-to-play games, punishing you for not playing. So I want to start this off by getting one thing straight. I'm not going to do definitions this time. I don't have any definitions, so we're going a little bit different than my typical hosting stuff. But free-to-play games are not here to be your friend. They're here to make money. This means that free-to-play games need to get your money in other ways since they're free-to-play. You don't buy it up front. So I want to begin by talking a little bit about the economy of F2P games, and before we get into the meat of the issue of being punished for not playing them. So we're gonna cover the economy, and then we're gonna get into the actual topic. By and large, free-to-play games operate by having a paid currency and an earned currency. Sometimes these two things are the same, but in a lot of games they're different. The earned currency is typically distributed on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, or a combination of that, for either simply logging in or for playing like a couple matches. The paid currency is normally distributed when you pay for it, or during special events, or typically you'll get some when you create an account, or you hit a character milestone. The real reason you're getting a free version of the paid currency is to get you used to the idea of spending the paid currency. So like, oh, I got these purple gems that I normally have to pay $10 for, but like I got them for free because I made a new character, and like, oh, I can only get these items with purple gems, and I got one of them, and it was really fun and cool to use. So like, that's kind of the point of giving you some free amount of the paid currency. And I also want to get a little bit specific here. We're going to actually dive into the numbers for my free-to-play drug of choice, Hearthstone. And it's kind of funny that this discussion is happening when it is, because I actually haven't played Hearthstone in like a couple of weeks. We're not going to get into the reasons why, but I'm not playing it right now. So we can actually like kind of use my numbers as an example of like what I'm losing out on by not playing. So Hearthstone distributes a weekly reward and a daily reward for free to all players. The average value of these rewards is 70-ish cents a day and $1.10 a week. So like if you add that all up, you get $6 a week. This means a dedicated F2P player can get for free what another player would pay $312 for over the course of a year. Now this sounds amazing. All that a player needs to do to get $312 of free content is log in every day. And not even every day. You could store up to 3 daily rewards. So, like, you get $312 of free content just for playing. That's awesome. But unfortunately, there's some flaws in that logic. Most importantly, we're taking a few things for granted here. This assumes that if we weren't given this free content, we would instead be purchasing this content. And so it's kind of assuming that you're getting $312 for free, because if you didn't get it, you would be spending that $312. And this, for 90% of people, is not true. And the second point I'm going to spend a little more time talking about, that $6 a week is kind of made up. On average, you expect to receive 420 gold a week and 1 classic card pack every week. You can't buy gold you can only buy card packs, which vary in price depending on how many you buy. I did my best, but $6 a week is mostly a guess. 150 gold is one arena ticket, which you can also buy for $2. So one gold is worth approximately 1.3 cents. But a pack is 100 gold and $1.50, so one gold is 1.5 cents. But then 60 packs is 6,000 gold and $70, so gold is worth 1.17 cents. And then there's pre-order bonuses, and most people have a majority of the classic set. So a classic card pack is actually worth less than other packs, especially if you played the game for a while. Fun fact: one of the reasons why most games use their own in-game currency rather than just saying you could pay $5 to get this, it's because this bypasses gambling laws. Since the in-game currency is technically worthless, since it can't be turned back into real money. Another reason they do this is this confusing thing I'm bringing up. Like, you can't say, oh, one gold is worth this much. Is a pack worth just over $1, or is it worth $1.50? Free-to-play games benefit greatly from obfuscating this information, since most consumers aren't really savvy enough to do this kind of analysis and have trouble assigning value to their time in-game versus their money. And because of this, they might make poor financial decisions as a result. I also want to be clear, I'm like breaking this down and making this simple. So like, I'm doing the best I can to make this as easy as possible, and it's still super confusing. And I'm not even capturing a bunch of other content that's available, like cosmetics, random login bonuses that when they have tournaments going on, like you get packs for picking a person in a tournament. Like there's so much that
sounds like straight up gambling.
There's so much that
funny.
goes into assigning value to gold that it becomes an impossible task. And Blizzard likes it that way. By the way, Blizzard's just a stand-in for an F2P game provider. Like anyone, like Blizzard could be EA, Blizzard could be Tencent or whatever the hell Fortnite's owned by or whatever. But I'm gonna use Blizzard because Hearthstone's my experience. So Blizzard also liked the part where I said that they give you $312 of free content, but you don't really get $312 of free content because you're not buying a product. Once the card designers and artists have been paid, it costs Blizzard $0 to give you a card. Like, they could make 1 million copies of every legendary in the game and give it to you, and that doesn't cost them a penny. Additionally, on top of that, the content you're buying is really only being rented. If Blizzard shut down tomorrow and shut down their servers for good, I have no recourse for the money I put in. That value is gone. So not only am I renting the content instead of buying it, I don't even know how long I'm renting it for. Like, that's really ridiculous when you think of it. I mean, we gotten a little off topic here, so I'm going to try and jump us back on track and get back to the main topic now that we've like kind of talked about the economy a lot and like how much value you're getting for free, but like, are you really getting that value? Like, it's really tough to say. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk a little bit about what happens when you take a break from Hearthstone. So let's say I don't play for a couple of months. To get into this discussion, I want to talk about Hearthstone's content cycle, which I don't play a lot of F2P games, but I think it's pretty similar to a lot of F2P games. 3 times a year, Hearthstone puts out a major content release, which is distributed through basically loot boxes. I already alluded to them. They're called card packs. But it's a loot box. You know, it's a reskin of a loot box. You can purchase these loot boxes with either money or in-game currency. Many players prefer to get this content mainly through in-game currency, although there's plenty of players who buy pre-order bonuses, which, you know, you get a little discount because you bought it early, and like there's a lot of card packs being bought, and then there's like whales who spend thousands per expansion, which is just crazy to me, but whatever. Um, but anyway, every once in a while, Hearthstone fucks up and makes bad content. And that's, to be expected. They pump out a pretty decent amount of content every year. But here's where it gets a little bit darker, I want to say. So this bad content makes the game not fun for me to play for a period of time, to the point where I don't want to play every day until the next cycle of content comes out. So the free currency I get is only given to me if I play the game. And as I just established, playing the game has now become an unfun chore. So what happens then, kind of counterintuitively, is if Blizzard is able to fix their game and get players to return, Blizzard isn't the one who's punished. I am. Like, I want to think about that for a second. I want to talk about that. If Blizzard makes an unfun product and then makes it fun again later, Blizzard, the only way for me to like catch back up or whatever is by spending money, because I lost out on in-game currency. I know I've been like just on a solid rant for like the past 10 minutes or however long it's been. So I want to take a brief break here to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Like, I think that's kind of weird. Like, what other things punish you for, like, what other products can you buy that you are punished if the company makes a mistake and makes a bad product? That's kind of poorly worded.
See, like that's the thing though, because like you're technically not buying the product in the first place. Like, would that be a fair comparison?
Right. But it's really weird. There's not a really good analogous way, and I think that's why we're kind of okay with dealing with their BS.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what it's like. We have no frame of reference. Like, it's straight up bizarre to me. Going back to what I was talking about earlier, it's straight up bizarre to me that we're like basically renting this product for a completely unknown period of time. It could be a couple years. It could be a couple months. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm like discouraged from playing free-to-play games because I know I'm not gonna play it every day. Like,
Exactly.
I played Pokemon Go. I was a Pokemon Go like. I played it a lot when the game first came out. Then I took a long break, and then I came back to it because Steve convinced me, I guess. And then it's basically like there's nothing to the game besides catching Pokemon, really, and the battles are kind of trash. You just tap tap your Pokemon, and that's it. So like, I mean, the game you kind of get punished in a way for not playing it because you miss out on a lot of events and raids and stuff. They're only there for a limited amount of time. But at the same time, like I don't feel as bad because I didn't pay for it, So
Yeah, it's very weird. And that kind of sort of leads into my next point. If anyone has anything else to say about,
I would just say, because I play a lot of free-to-play games and games that have like login bonuses, even if they're not free to play. And I would say you picked probably the most egregious example. Like Hearthstone, I used to play too, and I know it's your like choice. I'm not saying you chose wrong. I'm saying like it's the only game I completely quit and never came back to because of how behind I was after I started playing. You're completely right. They're completely bullshit with how behind you get.
Yeah,
There are
it's
other
really
games.
punishing.
There are other games where you can at least like have fun.
I can come back to other games I play, even if I haven't played in like a year, and still,
That's very interesting because like Hearthstone's definitely colored my opinion of free to play games in a way I didn't really consider. But I think it's more of an emerging trend. And it makes a lot of sense for a card game since like CCGs are modeled off of real life TCGs where you get a tangible product, which is like it's a piece of cardboard. Like Wizards of the Coast doesn't pay a lot of money to print a $30 card. They pay the same amount of money to print a $30 card as they do to print a 2-cent card. But like there is a secondary market. There's like a lot that's different, and I think the reason Hearthstone's so egregious, and I think you make an excellent point, Hearthstone is more egregious than other free to play games, is the reason it's so egregious is because it's not modeled after other free to play video games. It's modeled after trading card games, where the fan base for trading card games are already used to dropping $40 every time a new set comes out, and they feel like they can get away with a little more because they just have a different target audience.
Yeah.
But my concern is not what has happened with free-to-play games in the past. It's what games like Hearthstone, games like Fortnite bring to the table as far as the future of free-to-play games.
What's wrong with Fortnite?
What's the
The Battle Pass system, and
I
don't
don't play
know.
Fortnite.
Yeah, you gotta explain.
Yeah, don't know anything
I
about
actually
it.
don't play. I don't play Fortnite, but I stole some of my ideas from another video I watched, which I'm going to credit at the end of the discussion, where they do talk about Fortnite. But basically, they have a rotating store, which means you can only see like 13 items at once in their store, and the store has like a timer. So after that timer runs out, it's a different 13 items. You have no idea when or even if an item's coming back, so you just need to like buy it now, otherwise you might not get it.
Oh, hey, Fallout
Which is
does that.
super insidious in my opinion. And there's other just like ways that they mess with progression to reward players who pay versus players who play the game for free in like really substantial ways.
Okay, so how much does a battle pass cost, and do you know what you get from it, or?
So battle passes give you bonus experience, like a lot of the game's loot boxes. It doesn't give you tangible. That's another interesting thing, is that Hearthstone actually gives you something for free that helps you win games, whereas Fortnite does do cosmetics as opposed to like actual boosts. The only like thing you can kind of argue for is experience boosts, but like your experience doesn't really matter, and your level doesn't really matter. I'm gonna look up how much a battle pass costs real quick. Battle pass.
Steve, how
About
Go ahead, sorry.
so battle pass costs 2,800 V-Bucks, which
Like
is
$20.
it says this article says that works out to roughly 950 for the basic version, or 28 for the battle bundle, depending on how many V-Bucks. And that's gets back to my earlier point where they have an in-game currency specifically so you don't know how much it's worth, where the value of the in-game currency can be 1 penny per V-Buck down to like 0.7 pennies per V-Buck, and it just depends on how many you buy at once. So it's really hard to pin down a price for the battle pass. Oh, the battle pass is 950. The battle bundle is 280.
900? Wait, what?
950 V-Bucks, which is about 950, but also is it? Like, who knows?
Okay.
So they value like every 100 V-Bucks as like almost $1 or whatever. That's what
Yeah,
they.
if you buy the minimum amount of V-Bucks, it's a penny per V-Buck. If you buy the maximum,
that's
you
usually,
get bonus V-Bucks.
Yeah, that's usually how that works.
Yeah.
And it's interesting in that it's trying to make, like, I use the same thing with the gold. It's trying to make you not able to fully understand the value of it, so that when you spend 950 V-Bucks, you don't spend $9.50. That's different somehow.
Julie,
Sure.
were you ask something?
No.
So yeah, that's like another way that games can punish you. So games can not only withhold in-game currency, like that's not that bad to me. It's when they do this fear of missing out thing where they'll basically do things on a rotating store or limited time items, or you know, you need to check in every day to see what's available, otherwise you might not get something that your friends will get, and now you're missing out.
You want to hear some egregious
Yes.
in-game currency cosmetics on a timer? Fucking Fallout just is releasing. Okay, first of all, Fallout is a $40, $60 game.
Mhm.
It's not free to play. First of all, second of all, they just came out with power armor skins based off the four horses of the apocalypse. They're releasing one horseman every week. It's on a weekly timer, and it costs about $14 to purchase that skin, which apparently like almost every power armor skin is $14. Like, so you could get a camo skin at $14, or you can get this really badass one that's $14. I don't get it, but whatever. But it's on a weekly thing, and you don't know what the other horsemen look like. And I actually like the idea of that. The first one was garbage. The second one was awesome, but I'm like, okay, I only have so much free to play currency like saved up from grinding it out. It's like if I buy this one, I just miss out on the other two. Like, I don't even know what they look like. So I just and then I was like, but if I don't buy this one, is it ever coming back? So I just said, fuck it. I bought the second one, and now the third one sucks. I don't know if the fourth one's gonna be good or not, but it doesn't matter. I can't get it because I'm not paying real money for it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I was super.
That's awful, actually.
I had to think about it for like. I actually thought about it for a couple of days. I'm like, do I want this one or not? It was stupid. I
And
paid.
They gave you a couple days to think about it. Imagine if like they just tried to do the buy it now or you'll miss it thing.
I mean, it's a week, so
That's pretty long, I think, in like terms of a game. Like I think most rotating shop. Yeah, that's pretty typical. I think a week.
But they do it a week, so you can't grind up enough.
Right.
Because you can get about 50 of their in-game currency a day, so it's certainly not enough to grind up. Which.
And is their in-game currency worth about a penny?
Sure, I don't know.
I feel like that's a pretty common thing.
I wasn't following your math, so sure.
I mean, if it's like you get 1,000 for $10, that's a penny.
Oh yeah, they follow that.
Yeah.
So, it's
And like Hearthstone is also weird in that gold isn't worth a penny. Like at no point in time is gold worth a penny. It's always worth more than a penny. That's kind of weird. Like, I guess there are some bundles where gold is worth a penny, but it's like pre-order bonuses are the only time that gold is worth a penny. I don't know. That's more interesting than like actually related to the discussion.
But there are some free to play games that, I mean, you get login bonuses, but if you don't get it, it's doesn't hardly play at some point. So Dokkan Battle, the Frontline, I know Laurel plays that. Oh, okay, actually, Frontline, you kind of do need to log in every day, but it's just open the app and then you can quit. Like, you don't have to play. You just Hearthstone, you have to actually like play games. That's frustrated me too. I was like, I can't just log in. Win 3 games or win 3 games with this champion. I don't even play that hero. Like, Hearthstone was infuriating. I after the hype settled down, I was done with it.
Yeah, that's fair. I think one of the like things that I want to talk about is like there is a bigger point other than like trying to get you to pay money if you don't play. There's a point to trying to get you to log in every day, and that might be like obvious, but I still want to spell it out anyway. Like the goal of a free to play game is to turn you into a pay to play player. Like that's just what the company's trying to do. And I think that like internal research or whatever they're doing to like figure out how to make money has told them that the best way to do this is to make your free-to-play game the only game you play. So like a gamer is used to a $60 price tag, but if that gamer all of a sudden is only playing League of Legends or whatever, then they might say to themselves, it's been like 6 months since I bought a game because I've just been playing League of Legends constantly. And League of Legends is kind of a bad example because they don't really have login bonuses. It's just kind of a fun game that can suck up a lot of time. But like,
one of the
It's
better.
yeah,
It's a
League,
win of the
League
day.
is- They do give you one of the day. Oh,
it's win of the
yeah.
day. Yeah.
okay. It's but like
You're not like I'm not incensed. Okay, I
Yeah.
haven't played League of
Also, they run events, so if you're not playing the game, you can miss out on event quests.
Mhm.
But that's what
Yeah.
everyone does. That.
yeah, and like, but what League did accidentally, I think, is without punishing players from not playing, they got people to log in every day by just making a good product. And so a lot of players who played League of Legends said, "Hey, I haven't bought a retail price game in a while. I'll spend $40 on skins. Why not? Like this is the only game I play. I might as well support it." And other games are trying to circumvent the make a good product part and just get people to only play that game so that then they're comfortable with the idea of spending money on it because they haven't bought a $60 AAA game in a while. That's kind of what I think is the reason for this system where you're punished for not playing is they want to become your primary game by making you log in every day. And then once they're your primary game, you are now okay with the idea because you used to play games that were $60 of throwing them $60 once a year. That's kind of like
I definitely did that with League, but I thought it was a
Yeah.
good game. I don't give people money if I don't think they have a good game or worthwhile.
But
I
like, in a way, you can trick people into thinking that you make a good game because they say to themselves, "Oh, I play it every day, and it's the main game I play."
Oh yeah, no, for sure. For people who don't like realize that, I know there's. I mean,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, League of Legends did it the hard way. They made a good game. Like, other games are trying to take the shortcut by just punishing you for not playing the game and tricking you into thinking it's a game you want to play every day. So I want to switch gears actually a little bit because at this point I'm probably starting to sound kind of entitled and like I
don't feel that, but
I don't
well,
feel
I
that.
mean, like, I don't want to be the type of person who's like, oh, games should give us more stuff for free. And this kind of links back to what I was saying earlier about, like, the thesis of this is not free-to-play games are bad and this model is bad. It's that this model is very specifically triggering your reward centers of your brain, and arming yourself with knowledge can be like a powerful tool to making sure you're making good decisions. If you can take a step back and realize, oh, this game I'm playing is kind of not fun. I'm just playing every day because if I don't, I lose out on stuff. And then you stop playing a bad game, and then you stop giving money to a bad game. That might make games better in the future because you spoke with your wallet.
The loudest voice of them all, really.
So the point of this isn't free to play games that punish you for not playing are bad. It's we as consumers need to wisen up to when companies are intentionally obfuscating information and triggering the reward centers of our brain and putting an unknowable price tag on our time and using all of those tricks to rip us off. Like, that's my point. Don't get ripped off. So I just wanted to circle back to the very, very beginning. Free to play games aren't here to be your friend. They're here to make money. And sometimes, if we're careful, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well said.
And I didn't know where to toss this in, so I'll just toss in here, I guess, if that's cool.
That's the end. That was my conclusion.
It felt
statement.
like a conclusion. So this feels like a time for some random thoughts from the audience here. So the only real free-to-play game that I've spent a real amount of time in is League of Legends, which I think is particularly interesting in this discussion because I never felt punished very much for not playing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's the good model.
yeah, like League of Legends I think has shown that it is possible to make a very good and very profitable free-to-play game by making it so content that you pay for is stuff that you want but not feel compulsed to do for gameplay reasons.
They've had moments like when I had to grind for the Akali skin that was like you could only get with tokens. I had to play every day, multiple games, but they've only.
But
done
that's
that
also still
very-
for a cosmetic thing, right?
Yeah, it's
It
a
is for a
cosmetic
cosmetic thing.
requirement.
Which doesn't bother me nearly as much as hey, like a limited availability champ or something, or this champ will be, if you grind for it or buy it this week, you can get it now, but otherwise you have to wait a month or
The
something.
closest
I mean,
thing
they can
they
do a
had-
bunch of stupid stuff like that.
The closest thing they had was that in the old days, you needed rune pages if you wanted to play different
Oh
models.
yeah,
Yeah.
rune pages.
Rune pages were
You
the
started,
one
yeah,
thing.
you started with 2.
Yeah, rune pages were
Shit.
the one thing.
You could get them with IP, and I had 4 because they did a 2-for-1 sale. So I just spent 6,300 of the in-game currency and got 2 of them, and I was straight.
But they got rid of those anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that's not even a point anymore. But
So-
League is an esport, so if League was pay to win, it would be trash.
Yeah, so one last final thing. If I was ever accidentally interesting, that's only because I based some of my ideas on a video, and if you guys have time, I think you should check it out. It's called Manufactured Discontent in Fortnite, and it's by one of my favorite YouTubers, Folding Ideas. So shout outs to that. I tried to be somewhat original, but some of my ideas were definitely borrowed from that video.
Is he a good, wholesome YouTuber?
Is he a predator like a lot of these other
we
YouTubers?
were for those who don't know, there have been a couple of not only game studios being outed lately, but some big YouTubers and content creators being outed too for different allegations and misconducts. So
Boy.
it's
So
it's
he-
a rocky world out there right now.
He actually tweeted out. Hold on, he tweeted out something related to the Pro Jared thing today.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oof.
Him too?
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Pro Jared. Just a quick news tidbit. Pro Jared probably cheated on his wife
Do we even want to talk about
with another
that?
girl,
No,
and might have sent some pics to minors and or sexually groomed minors. So
All
Not
alleged.
even-
We're
Yeah,
not
see, he might have survived
talking
cheating on
about
his
anything,
wife, but this predator stuff, he's done.
yeah,
He
Not only
tweeted.
was-
yep.
GG.
was- he cheated on his wife. There's also with the woman that I'm not sure if she was divorced by the
That's
time they cheated, but she
Doesn't
was-
matter. Cheating.
Yeah.
apparently it was sketchy. It's not really clear.
Okay.
Also, he tweeted out today, "I've had some bad breakups, but I'm proud to say none of them have trended on Twitter."
Got him.
He also handled that hard. We could talk about it. Man. Because he issued a statement on his Twitter and it was like, "I'm divorcing my wife," and his wife was like, "What? What is going on?"
Holy shit!
Because he blocked his wife on Twitter, and she just had this tweet storm about, "Yeah, Jared has been cheating on me with Holly, who was married to Ross from Game Grumps. Holly, I've seen Holly's nudes. He's also been talking to possibly minors, and he had this blog on Tumblr where he would share nudes with his fans, and they would give him nudes, and some of them might have been
Can I
underage.
say something?
Yikes.
Yeah,
Can
go
I-
ahead.
can I- He's ugly. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's also the meme. Yeah, he looks like a shaved chicken or an ostrich.
How is he doing this? How is he married and then also cheating on his wife? What the hell?
And they're both pretty
He just
attractive.
got
women.
out.
Yeah.
I know. That's not fair.
Oh boy, man, it has been a wild ride for just YouTube and just the gaming community over the past like couple weeks.
And we laugh, but it's mostly sad.
Yeah,
We hide our
We
sad.
laugh to hide the pain.
Yeah, I. So far, none of my beloved creators have
Yet.
been accused of anything yet.
besides Attica.
Oh well, Attica's like a weird case because like
Yeah.
he hasn't like done any like sexual misconduct or anything like that. He's just
He
punched
just
a
needs
cop
help.
and going crazy.
He just needs help. The rest of these fuckers are just assholes.
Yeah, that's true. He probably has a legitimate mental condition, and even with a mental condition, he still hasn't done anything as egregious as these people. So, what's their excuse?
He punched a cop.
Yeah, he punched a cop, but he didn't press charge. The cop.
Oh,
Yeah, that's lucky.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got
yeah,
off.
Yeah, because the cop's like, this man's mentally ill. He needs help, not jail.
Well, good thing he thinks like that. Not everyone would have said that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Though that did get him basically sentenced to, hey, you actually have to stay in the hospital for a while this time.
Good.
Get
You
some
should.
real help.
Yeah, he's starting to break laws.
How did he get out in a day? In the first place.
In the first 3 places, who
In the
knows?
first 3 places.
Well, that's a different story for a different day. Maybe someday
Probably never.
we can talk about the rise and fall of Etika.
Can we not?
That will be a really sad episode if we ever do it.
Yeah. Maybe he
Okay.
can come back.
So
Any final thoughts on free to play? Or
No.
not for punishing you for not playing.
I mean, I mostly agree with Dan. Like, I'm kind of like Jake. I haven't really played a lot of free-to-play games besides League.
Partially because I just like I look at games like Hearthstone and I hate games that force me to play frequently. I
Yeah.
don't have the time or the desire to always do that. And if
Yeah.
I'm basically forced to make playing a game into a habit as opposed to doing it just because I want to in that moment, then like why am I even doing this? What's the point? That's not fun. Like sure, it might lead to some fun moments later on, but I don't know, to me it's not worth it.
Also, fuck games who that you have to pay for that adopt this model. They can go die.
Yeah.
Fallout 76.
Real apocalypse.
Yeah, EA
You
and
buy a $60 game and you gotta pay like $50 a week just to be competitive.
Shadows of War, Battlefront 2,
oh yeah.
Fallout
Shadows
76.
of War was bad.
whatever the opposite of a shout out is, that to those games.
Yeah. What is the opposite of a
Whisper in.
So
Whisper in.
Wasn't that funny?
That's pretty funny.
so if you guys don't mind, I have something completely off the cuff for Shenmue Watch,
Go for it.
and it's also
Okay.
very different from our typical Shenmue Watch. So Reddit user XLYQ asks, why doesn't the gaming community talk about Shenmue 3? I'd like us to answer that question together. What do you guys have as a response?
Oh,
to
yeah.
We
that?
talk about it every week. What are you talking about? We are the community, bitches. All right, moving on.
Just post a comment and link this stream.
Well, like
You
the
should just tell them
podcast,
that
we
nobody
talk about
cares.
it literally every week.
Feels
But
like-
the reason why nobody else is talking about it is because they're not talking about it. They have told us nothing about this goddamn game. They're literally not releasing any information except for the most vague
They
shit
gave
or
you a
garbage.
3-minute trailer.
Yeah, 3-minute trailer of shit.
Rio drives a forklift.
Christ almighty.
The creator admitted that the mini games are just worse than.
Our worst phone game. He did say that there are literally phone games that are better. Multiple phone games that are better. Oh Christ Almighty! This is gonna be quite a game. I
And
think it's
that
worth
was-
talking about. Just it's such an interesting development to talk about because it's like this like weirdly idolized series that's aged like crap, and like and the new and they've clearly taken no lessons from the old games, and they're just like, no, those games were perfect because our community tells us they are, so we're just gonna make that again.
So that was Shenmue Watch.
Yeah, okay. Oh, man. All right. So we have 3 lighthearted news topics to end this show with.
I'm ready.
First of all, Reggie Fils-Aimé. I'm not sure if anyone was aware of Chairpocalypse or Chairgate or anything like that.
Yeah.
But basically, in the background of Reggie's offices, people noticed that Reggie had a chair, which is a pretty decent chair, but it's a 16-year-old out-of-date model, deemed not good enough for a man of his status. And the people were justifiably outraged that Reggie would be exposed to such mediocrity in his daily sitting. So they started a Change.org petition, and Herman Miller actually reached out to Reggie and said, "We're going to give you a fully loaded Aeron chair that everyone said that Reggie deserved." So he is upgrading from, I believe, a $900 chair to a $2,100 chair. So, I mean, yeah.
What is he sitting? Why is he like? What is he doing in that chair? I don't mean that like. What is he doing in such a cheap chair? I mean like, what is he doing? Like, isn't he retired?
Well, yeah. Now this is going to be for his home office as a sort of gift, like they made you sit in that crap chair for all those years while you were at Nintendo. Let's give you a real chair for your retirement. A real throne for the king. I can't.
Okay.
That's all the meme I can do on that. But I don't know. I found the chair thing kind of funny, and Herman Miller is actually following through with the Change.org petition. That's pretty cool.
It was
It's kind of ridiculous, but it's
A little ridiculous. A little silly.
But you know what?
Okay.
I'm fine with giving Reggie a new chair. All right. Next up, BlizzCon 2019 attendees will be forced to download spyware onto their phone in order to attend the conference. So in order to get into BlizzCon, Blizzard is requiring participants download a mobile app known as AXS. Looking further into it, AXS is actually spyware that will have access to all your personal information stored on the phone, and the terms of service on the app said that they have complete right to share and or sell with a long list of companies. The list of personal information that says they can sell is your IP address, your billing address, your credit card number, your email address, your phone number, your security code, and your device make and number.
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
Holy shit!
I don't.
You have to.
So no one's going to BlizzCon this year.
I guess
right?
no. Yeah, I guess no.
Holy shit!
I don't know.
Can't they just take the app out? What?
Like, what is the reason? Has Blizzard said like, "Hey, here's the reason why"?
As far as I know, no. I haven't been able to find any kind of follow-up from Blizzard. Yeah,
Wow.
this is
That's bonkers. Like that's
yeah, that's actually insane.
I have some more information about this.
What you got?
The app is designed to track your location throughout BlizzCon 2019. It can turn on your GPS, access phone camera, contacts, use Bluetooth, change system settings, and much more.
Change my.
What?
Why? Is any app allowed? Huh?
What the actual fuck? I mean,
Why?
for things like that, you have to say yes to each of those
most
permissions.
of those you have to allow, but
Yeah, you do have to
mess
allow
with
them.
System settings.
That there are some apps that can. There are some system settings that can be messed with applications, like Google Maps can mess with system set. Like you open Maps and it'll be like, hey, do you want us to turn on GPS for you? And you can hit OK and it will. Like all the things that change settings, you have to still click a button in the app, but it can change multiple settings simultaneously and stuff like that. But that's less concerning than the accessing your contacts list, camera, and Bluetooth. How can they possibly justify that? Like GPS for tracking stuff around the BlizzCon, fine, if it was anonymized, which I'm positive it isn't. But all the rest, I don't even know how you could begin to justify any of the rest of it. Also, this is like a free to play spyware, but for a con you pay to go to. I bet it's not
Right?
cheap either. BlizzCon's probably like, I bet it's like 60 or more dollars.
I think it's more than that. It might be. I think it might be like 80 or 90.
Imagine paying $80 or $90 and then having to install spyware to attend so they could sell your data and make more money off of you.
Yeah, BlizzCon is sold out.
Holy crap.
Yep.
GG.
So apparently, it doesn't matter.
I don't
To
think
be
it's
fair, it also
really
might have sold out before this was known. Like, this is 5 days ago that this stuff started coming to light.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I doubt everyone like downloaded the app, the sign-in app, you know, when they pre-ordered their BlizzCon tickets.
Wait, this can't be right. Price $230 for
Yep.
BlizzCon?
There are some cons that have prices like that.
Yeah.
Especially ones that are in high demand. So
Hello?
$230, and they want to make money selling your IP address and contact info and credit card number. Credit card number. Is that legal to sell people's credit card? That's okay. Any final thoughts on that?
Do you guys not have phones?
Oh man, Blizzard's a mess. And speaking of mobile companies that are a mess, Tencent kills off PUBG Mobile in China and replaces it with a patriotic version. The new version is called Game for Peace, which pays tribute to the blue sky warriors that guard our country's airspace and has a counter-terrorism theme. However, the game is similar to PUBG in almost every way except for the blood and gore. Now, instead of dying, characters will fall down briefly, then get back up and wave goodbye.
Okay.
And, yeah, so they have, it's basically a complete rebrand of PUBG, where, with a Chinese patriotic theme, anti-terrorism rhetoric, and instead of blood and gore, people fall down and then get back up and wave goodbye. And that's only for the mobile version. The PC version is perfectly fine. This just doesn't make any sense.
Aren't there, like, bloody mobile games in China? Like, there have to be,
I'm
right?
sure there are. I don't know.
What's the reasoning behind this? Like,
They had been waiting for over a year to get approval from Chinese regulators to monetize the mobile version of PUBG, and they apparently just never got approval for one reason or another. So then they shut down the quote-unquote test version of the game, and then came out with Game for Peace instead of PUBG. I don't know. I found this mind-boggling, and just kind of funny. Trying to rebrand this straight up war game as Game for Peace, and removing any kind of blood and replacing it with people falling down, getting back up, waving goodbye, and fading out of existence.
I like
As
that.
opposed to
I
dying.
wish that were real life. When I die, I want to get up briefly and wave goodbye.
And that's all we got for the news tonight. Shout outs to our sponsors, Blizzard. We've had nothing but good things to say about them today.
bro, Jared.
I can't even joke.
You want him to be a sponsor?
I can't be associated with him.
Wow, he's our sponsor. What do you mean?
Maybe
Blizzard.
he's your sponsor.
Not my sponsor.
Yeah, not my sponsor. Oh boy. And yeah, shout outs to League of Legends, I guess, for not being too shitty of a free to play game. That feels
Yeah.
weird to say.
Wow.
I mean, I trash League, but like I mostly trash it because I'm bad at the game. I will admit that.
I mostly trash it because I don't think it's a very good game. However, their model is fantastic. I have almost no issues with their way of running business. So.
Except the abuse and suing.
Oh
I
yeah.
wouldn't- I
Right,
don't know if I would
Oh.
say that.
I forgot. I actually forgot. I actually totally forgot about the walkout
You have,
thing.
you have no
Holy
idea.
crap!
That
Right.
is what Riot wants you to do.
Yeah, you know what? Never mind. Fuck Riot and fuck League of Legends and fuck all gaming. And this is the last episode of the podcast. So thank you guys for listening. It's been a wild ride. Join us next week where we have a new podcast about knitting.
Personal finance.
Knitting and personal finance.
No, personal finance has too many shady figures too. We need to go straight to knitting. No one's been you know what? I'm not even gonna say it.
Sure about that?
Yeah, no, I
I'm
wouldn't
not,
be
I'm not so sure. I bet the knitting community is a little better off.
Hey guys, what is it about the name Jared and people with the name Jared being like pedophiles?
Oh yeah, that happened with Subway Jared too, didn't it?
Jared Focal, you got Pro Jared. Who's next?
Yeah. Who is next? Leave your votes in the comments below. Who is next to have allegations of sexual misconduct come out against them? We'll be picking winners from a raffle next week. That's the industry now. All right, that's all. That's actually all for the show tonight. Have yourselves a good night, and yeah, go. Nothing. Knitting. Fuck it.